Hi everyone! It is time for Facebook Live this week, and we have a really cute card, really fun card to get to. Before we get to all that, I just wanted to show you some of the Everything is Rosy product medley. I don't have everything. This is actually, my mom bought it, and so I took a few pieces from her kit to be able to show you. But there is some gorgeous paper. There's some rose gold foil back here. You get 8 sheets of everything. You get tons of little pre-printed and pre-die cut little flowers. There's like the rose gold foil accented one, and then just regular ones. There's rose gold shimmer paint. There's tons of ribbon, and this ribbon is amazing. There's some Night of Navy ribbon with some rose gold accents on the edge. And then there's like this Melamumbo Roush ribbon, which is just incredible. So, and then of course you get the stamp set and the dies that go with it. So there's so much in this product medley suite, and I just wanted to just take a minute to show you some of it. And I think it's a fantastic grouping of products. And so if you're interested in that, it is only available this month and while supplies last. So order it sooner rather than later to guarantee that you get it. And you can shop at my online store. Use this host code. If your order is over $50 or more, I'm going to send you a free pack of metallic pearls this month. And if your order is over $150, don't use the host code. You're going to earn free stuff. So what else is going on right now, you guys? So our Shelly Paper Pumpkins are on our way. Our hugs from Shelly Paper Pumpkin have been processing and they're shipping this week. So I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to get mine. And then the June Paper Pumpkin is going to be phenomenal. They gave us a little sneak peek. It's all about sharing kindness and doing random acts of kindness, and it's going to be 16 little cards. So they're not going to be like full-size cards. They're going to be little cards, but I cannot wait. And I love the colors in the June kit. So you don't want to miss that. So you can subscribe to Paper Pumpkin so you don't miss the June kit. And summer's a great time for crafting. So Paper Pumpkin is a great way to do that. And everything, you know, you get the whole kit, everything in the kit that you need. So it's a great thing to take on vacation or take to the beach or hiking or whatever you want to do. Okay, but today we're going to talk about Lovely as a Tree. And so this is a card we're going to make today. And I just love, this is my favorite out of the entire stamp set. So I'm going to show you my stamp set. And this stamp set has been around so long. It is not it's in a Stampin' Up! Box, but I had to like print the label on the front, and I had to print my whole label because it used to come in the old boxes. And mine is only in wood, and I'm going to show you guys, if I can open it. I'm going to show you guys how loved my stamp set is. So Lovely as a Tree has been around since 2001. It's been around a long time, you guys, longer than I've been a demonstrator. And it is our longest running stamp set. This is the stamp we're going to use today. We're also going to use this one. It is our longest running stamp set in the catalog, and it is retiring this year, you guys. So Lovely as a Tree is leaving us. So these are the 2 stamps we're going to use. And this little, I guess it's an oak tree. I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe an oak tree. I'm not sure what it is. But this is the stamp that I have used the most. Every time I make a card of Lovely as a Tree, I always grab this one. I just love this tree. I don't know what it is about this tree. I just love it. So that is what we're going to use. But the images in here, what I love most about Lovely as a Tree is the images are year-round. So you can do an amazing winter or fall scene with these trees. You have a wonderful Christmas tree or a pine tree that you can use year-round. You have a summer tree, summer and spring tree. And there are no greetings in here. So Lovely as a Tree is literally the most versatile stamp set you could ever use, because all you do is add any greeting you want. And you can make this a masculine card, a feminine card, a sympathy card, a holiday card, anything in the world. It's an amazing stamp set. So if you don't have Lovely as a Tree, this is your last chance to get it. After this catalog is up and on June 3rd, we will no longer be able to get this anymore. So if you love Lovely as a Tree, you need to get it now. Now maybe you're like looking at it going, oh, I don't know if Lovely as a Tree is for me, but I do love like the trees. So if you don't have Lovely as a Tree, Rooted in Nature is also an amazing like a company to Lovely as a Tree. And if you have Lovely as a Tree, Rooted in Nature is a great one to get with it. So it has a lot of those similar images. We have those wonderful pine trees. We have another big tree, which I love. Lots of leaves, and this one does have amazing greetings in it. Plus, this one has coordinating dies. The Lovely as a Tree doesn't, but this one does. So Rooted in Nature is carrying over. So this might be a good option if maybe you like the trees, but you maybe just don't love Lovely as a Tree. Rooted in Nature is another great option, and you can buy it now for 10% off. You can get them bundled together, the stamp set and the framelits bundled together for 10% off. And this bundle price will not carry into the new catalog. So we will carry the stamp set and the frame and the dies in the next catalog, but it will not have the bundle price. So buy it now to save some money, to get that 10% off in the bundle. Okay, let's get to the card today. Little Lovely as a Tree farewell here. So this is what we're doing, like I said, and we're going to start with the tree because we are doing a little bit of watercoloring with that, and we need to let that have time to dry. So we're going to start with the tree. So this card has lots of layers. I'm not sure what I was thinking when I made this card, but it has so many layers. So these are all of our pieces. So we'll go through them as we get to them, but for now, I have a 2.5-inch square piece of watercolor paper. And we're going to do our tree first. So 2.5 by 2.5, just a square. Move some of this out of the way. We are going to use this stamp set, and I am going to turn it upside down because we're going to ink it up with our markers. These are our Stampin' Write markers. These are not our blends. These are our water-based markers. Do not use your blends on your stamps. But we're going to do that. But before we do that, I want to get this watercolor paper damp. Not soaking wet. I don't want it super, super wet, but I do want it a little bit wet. So I'm going to use my aqua painter. I have a little towel off to the side. I'm just making sure that it is running some nice clean water. And so what I'm going to do is just use my aqua painter and just get that watercolor paper nice and damp. Now you don't want it too wet, but you do want it a little wet. Okay. Now move that off to the side, and we're going to color this fairly quickly. I am going to color my leaves, the top of my tree, in garden green, and you can see I'm just using the side of my brush tip marker here. And I'm just going to color that tree, just the top of it, in garden green. I don't know if I said garden green. You could use any green. We have so many amazing greens. Okay. And then I have some early espresso, and I'm going to color the bottom of the tree. I'm going to do the trunk and then just the bottom down here. Okay. Now our paper should still be a little wet. I'm just going to make sure that it's nice, and just going to go over it one more time. Okay. Hope this isn't too wet. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. If it is, we'll do it again. Okay. So with it a little bit damp, all we're going to do is go straight down. And then we're just going to hold it there for a second. We just want that water to start sucking up that ink from the markers. We're just going to hold it there for just a minute. And then we're just going to lift it off. And look at the amazing, the water is moving all that ink all on its own. So you're getting a nice watercolored look. Now I can see down here that the bottom of the tree there wasn't enough water down there. So I'm just going to take my aqua painter and just kind of help move that color a little bit. I don't want to get rid of a lot of this detail, but I do want to move it a little bit. Okay, perfect. Isn't that cool? I really, really like that. And if you feel that the water's moving it too much, if it's too wet, grab your heat tool and just heat it up for a second and dry it. But I think that's pretty good. It's not too wet, and it's not really moving anymore. So we're just going to let this dry. But I do want to show you what happens if your watercolor paper is too wet. You don't want it like dripping wet. You just really want it damp. If it's too wet, you end up with this, and you lose all of that detail. So this is what we want, and this is what happens if your water is too wet. This kind of looks like a Sesame Street monster or something. Maybe if I had googly eyes. I don't know. Maybe googly eyes down here. This big hair. But we want to make sure we retain a lot of that detail from the tree. If your paper is too wet, it's going to bleed too much. So we're going to set this off to the side to finish drying, and it won't take long. There's not a ton of water on there. It won't take long, but we're going to do some other stamping while we're waiting. So I have a piece of garden green, which let me measure is 2.5 by 5.5, 2.5 by 5.5. And I'm going to pull out my garden green ink pad and this little leaf image, and we're just going to stamp that all over the back of this, just for some nice texture. And I'm going to flip my stamp over, go in different directions, make sure I have every little bit covered, and make sure you're stamping off the page. You see I let my stamp hang off on those sides, and that gives it like a continuous pattern. If you just stamped it inside the paper, it would look very boxy. But this way we're keeping that pattern going, and it looks more like designer series paper that we just chopped up. Okay, so we have that stamping done. Now we are going to stamp our greeting. So let me put this aside. I have a piece of vellum, which is 1 inch by, I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches. As long as it's longer than like 3 inches, you're good. So it could just be a scrap of vellum. And I am going to look at how bad my Versamark pad is. You can tell it's loved. And I'm going to ink this up in Versamark, and we're going to stamp our greeting. And this greeting, let me tell you where this greeting has come from. This is a little sneak peek. So I'm going to stamp that. And this greeting is from the brand new Parcels and Petals stamp set coming in the new catalog. So this is a really beautiful stamp set. And it is a little sneak peek. You can't get it now unless you're a demonstrator, but you could always join my team and get all of the pre-order items in your starter kit. So all the stuff I've been showing you for the last couple weeks or so. You could also add current products like Lovely as a Tree or Rooted in Nature in your starter kit as well. So, and I probably should have used my embossing buddy. I'm sure you guys were screaming, use your embossing buddy, but I think we're okay. I just sprinkled on some white embossing powder on that, and we're gonna heat that up. So let me close my container. We do not want to heat up embossing powder with an open container. That will make it fly everywhere. So this is gonna get loud for just a second. I'm gonna hold it off to the side for about 20 seconds just so it can heat up off to the side. Especially with vellum, you do not want to overheat your vellum because it can scorch and burn and warp very, very quickly. So I'm gonna let my heat tool heat up off to the side before I bring it in, and then I'm gonna heat this up. And you can see it melting and changing very quickly. And I think we're there. So once your heat tool is nice and hot, everything moves very quickly. So what happened was that powder just melted it, and so now it's like a glossy texture. Beautiful. Okay, I think we're ready to start assembling. We've stamped all of our pieces. This is almost dry, just about dry. So we're gonna start assembling. We'll just work from the bottom up. So I have a garden green card base, and this is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5.5. And let me grab a bone folder. Then a nice crisp fold. And then I have a piece of crumb cake, which is 3 3/4 by 5. And I am just gonna stick that right on our card base. And you could stamp on this, you could jazz this up any way you want. You could run this through an embossing folder. You can jazz it up any way you want, but we're just gonna stick it down. Okay, and then I have a piece, another piece of early espresso that is 3 by 5.5. And we're gonna stick that down as well. Okay. That goes straight down, right in the middle. Great. And then we're going to stick down our stamped piece of garden green. Once you have everything stamped, this card actually goes together pretty quickly. But it's just all that prepping and stamping. And I think I cut this wrong. Look at my border. What is wrong with that? I'm gonna try to pull this up and fix that. I don't know why this is so big. Maybe I cut this one wrong. 2.5. Okay, I just want to make sure this is, so I'm going to cut this to 2 3/4. I just want a 1/4 inch bigger. I don't need that big of a border. Okay, let's try this again. We're going to stick this down right in the middle. We're going to stick this one down right on top of it. Perfect. See, no mistakes in stamping. That's what I always tell my customers, no mistakes. And then we're going to set this one aside for just a second, and we're going to glue our watercolor paper onto a piece of early espresso, which is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And I'm actually going to use Tombow for this because the watercolor paper is a little bit warped from that water, and it might still be a little damp. So I just want to make sure that it's going to stick well. So I just put a little bit of the liquid glue on the back, and we're just going to give that a good press. Make sure it's all nice and adhered down. Really cute. I really love that tree. So much fun. And I have some linen thread here we're going to use. I'm going to tie it around the bottom down here. And if you're not a big watercolorer, but you really love that watercolor look, this technique is such a good way to get that look of watercolor without having to worry about how to paint it or any of that. We're really letting the stamps do the work. All you do is add the ink to the stamp and stamp it on a damp piece of paper, and you're really just letting this ink do the work there. And that's a really fantastic technique, and it was so easy. Okay, seriously, I can tie, I promise. Okay guys, so coming up, I do want to, well, I'm tying this bow because who knows, this may take a while. So I just wrapped the linen thread around twice, and then I tied a knot because knots are easier to tie into bows. And I'm trying to separate these just so they have a little bit of definition. I'm gonna tie this into a bow. Okay, so coming up guys, so I have a new catalog paper share coming up, and I put a link to that in the video description. So if you want to get in on my paper share, now's the time to put your name down for it. And all the details on my paper share are on my blog, and there's a link straight to that. I also have my new catalog stamp camp coming up on June 8th, and I am almost sold out for that. I only have a couple of spots left for that stamp camp, and that is going to be my big retired sale and all of that. So you don't want to miss that. And also coming up, my kids are out of school next week. So Facebook Lives may start looking a little different, especially over the summer, but I may be taking a couple weeks off just to redo my craft room with the kids off school. I'm going to try to get their help, and we're just going to try to clean everything out and organize. My craft room normally undergoes a huge clean and reorganization once a year, and I haven't done it in about 2 years, so it's really bad and it really needs it. So I may be off the next couple of weeks just because my room will be torn apart and I'll be undergoing that whole thing. So watch for updates on that. I will try to pop in once in a while, but we'll have to watch for that. And now that I'm looking at this card, do you guys see what I did wrong? I'm gonna pull this one over. We forgot to add our greeting. So I'm gonna have to take this apart again. So again, what did I say? No mistakes in stamping, right? So we're gonna gently pull that apart. And we forgot to add our greeting down here. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have been running around doing errands all morning. I got home just about 20 minutes ago, or you know, about 11:40, I guess I got home. And I was like, oh, okay, I have the live at noon. I got to get ready. And so it has just been one of those days. And then, like I said, school gets out next week. Next Thursday, I think, is the last day of school. But my kids' last day of school will probably be next Tuesday or Wednesday. I doubt they'll go all the way to Thursday. But I cannot believe we're already at the end of school. It's just crazy. And then, you guys, I got called for jury duty again. This is the 3rd time that I have been called for jury duty. So that will be the very end of May and the beginning of June that I will be on jury duty. So that may mess up our Facebook Lives as well. So I am trying to get everything done and my life together before I go on to jury duty, because that schedule will just be so crazy that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do anything once I'm on jury duty. So yeah, it's just a crazy, crazy time right now. May is very busy. So I will make sure and post. I'll try to give at least a day's notice when I do plan to go live, but you never know. We'll see. I hope to be able to do lots of lives, but again, if my office is going to be torn up and then I have jury duty, we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, guys, so all I did was, after I added my greeting, I don't know if you guys saw how I did that. I just added adhesive to the back of that early espresso piece, and then I wrapped my greeting around, the vellum piece around, and then I added my tree wood dimensionals. So that is my card, as many times as we took it apart. But that is my card. I hope you guys like it. If you have questions on it, please let me know. Remember, this is your last chance to get Lovely as a Tree. It is a fantastic stamp set. And again, Rooted in Nature is also a great stamp set to have if you don't want Lovely as a Tree but still love all those tree images. If you have questions on anything, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you hopefully sometime in the next couple of weeks. But again, like I said, my crazy life is just going to take over. I know it. And I'll make sure to fit you guys in. But if you have any questions on anything, please let me know. And if you need anything, please shop my online store. I really appreciate it when you do that. And I hope you guys have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.